Well, hello, my couture crafters. Long time no see. Let's get into an art journal page. Yep, not a card, but an art journal page. I am working in my Creative Dilutions journal. It's been a while since I've done an art journal page. Um, it's just been a while. I've been into cards, and this year I really want to do way more art journaling. So I'm using Tim Holtz Distress Oxide sprays, and I'm shaking them up until you hear the little ball rattle in there. And then I'm giving the page a good spritz, and then I'm going back over it. I think I'm using like Dusty Concord, Wilted Violet, Picked Raspberry. You guys know the Tim Holtz colors. There's 60 of them, and we all know what they are. And now I'm using a bit of the Dilution Shimmer sprays. These are newer sprays that have come out, and this purple one clogs. Oh, I don't know why my favorite color has to clog. Probably because I use it the most. And I didn't feel like going over and unclogging it, which is cool because this came out so pretty anyway. You can really see the micas in these sprays. These sprays are just, they have a ton of mica in them. And it's kind of cool to see what happens when you mix those the dye mica sprays with the oxides. I mean, it's just kind of cool. Then I grabbed what I think is a dilution stencil. It might be, it might not. It could be a not Diane Reevely and Dina Wakley. It could be a Dina Wakley stencil. The flower one right there for sure is a Diane Reevely stencil. And I'm just cleaning it off in another page. You guys know how art journals go. They're messy and fun, and you just get your hands dirty and play. So I'm using the dryer, and I dried up the pages, and you can see the ghosting of the stars and the flowers. You guys, I am in love with the way that this background is coming along. So I grabbed some fun foam, and I cut it so that it could fit behind the pages. I'm going to do some stamping in this book, and you guys know books are never completely flat, and when you want to stamp, you want a nice solid surface. I don't have that luxury playing in this journal, so I'm going to put some fun foam behind it to make sure that I get a good impression. I decided I wanted a kind of a moon right there, so I cut out a piece of paper with a hole punch and a very large hole punch. And now I'm just using some Distress Oxide inks over it with my little Ranger blending foams, and I'm just going over it, blending from the inside and just pushing it out so that we get a little bit of a halo. And I'm using the colored Seedless Preserved, Wilted Violet, and a little bit of black soot to give me a shadow around that circle. And now we're going to peel it off. I used removable adhesive there, and now we have a little moon, kind of. So for my next stamp, or for my first stamp, actually, we are going to use a branch that I got from, I think this is a Crafter's Companion set, fairy set that I got off of HSN. I think this is the Enchanted Forest, and then I have another one that's like Festive Forest or something like that. It's one of those. It's either the Christmas one or the regular one. And again, it's just the fairy stamps. These stamps are not the best quality, but they work. They're not the best quality. They really aren't. But they work, and they're cute images. So, hey, we know how to make stamps work that are not the best quality. We just use good inks. And so I'm using VersaFine Clear ink to get a really good impression. I switched over to Archival to see if it would be more black on this background, but really, they're about the same. So I grabbed the fairy that's on the swing. She's on the swing with like an owl and a bird, and I think she's cute. And I put her in front of the moon. I'm using a block to do this stamping, and for the most part, I got a pretty decent image. Again, it's an art journal. We are not going to fuss and cry and worry about what is happening. We are just playing and having fun and figuring out which products work well with on top of products and under products, blah, blah, blah. So these mica sprays really are kind of difficult to stamp on top of. I didn't get the best of color payoff stamping over the micas, but now we know what happens when you try it. So here I'm using Archival ink in the purpley color, and I'm just trying to grab some background foliage at this point. I'm not really trying to get the image to stand out in the front. I'm just dropping some background foliage. And I'm moving that phone foam from side to side to kind of figure out what is going to work best. And that is I don't know if it's a bluebell flower, but it's by Lavinia Stamps. And Lavinia is the queen of fairy stamps. I want all the Lavinia stamps. I think like most of them are fairy themed. They're kind of known for it. So now we've got some vines, and I've decided to have them coming down. And oh my goodness, I fell in love with the way that the vines look coming down. It kind of reminds me of the Little Mermaid scene where she's with Prince Eric in the boat, and they are going through, I don't know, like a weeping willow or whatever. I don't know. You guys know the scene. But aren't they pretty? So again, I'm just building kind of a scene, background scene right now. And I think I've moved over to the Rangel Archival Ink and Black now. So these are images that I want to be in the foreground, foreground, the forefront. I don't know. You guys know what I'm talking about. I need these to stand out. Anything that I stamp in black, I want to be seen. I want it to stand out. I'm not trying to trick your eye. I want you to look at it. Now I'm grabbing some other foliage out of one of these sets. You guys use what you got. Play. It's not about that. We're just kind of playing right now. And I turned them upside down. I'm pretty sure those are meant to be used right side up. But we're getting creative and we turned it upside down. So right now I'm working in my journal upside down. And I like what's happening here. And so I'm just kind of deciding what more foliage. I think this set really has just a ton of flowers and vines and things. And again, I think this is a set from Crafter's Companion. It's one of their fairy sets. I think they still have these available on HSN. Yes, I am an HSN QVC lady. I watch it. It's interesting. You learn stuff. You buy stuff. You buy all the things. Shout out to anybody who knows what the tradition sets are. I'm such an old lady and I'm okay with it. All right, guys, still stamping vines. And I'm using the block here, but at some point you'll see me kind of take them off the block and use them too so that I can get the best impression because I'm working on top of this book. And it's kind of annoying me. Like, I want to just do it all over again on a flat sheet of paper so I can really just go off. I was kind of working within this book, which was kind of limiting. But it was a really great concept and it was super fun to play with. So here you get a close-up of the stamping that I'm doing in purple. I'm just throwing some background stamping in there. And I'm using the same color as the paper for the most part. It's pink or purple. Here are some more flowers that I'm using now. And I'm moving them on the block. I'm using a smaller block. I'm rocking them. Just trying to it's hard to get this impression on this side. I don't know why. But it is. So you'll see me pushing and see, I'm not getting a great impression, but I'm not flipping out. It's not that serious. It's an art journal. I'm just doing background stamping right now anyway. So I moved the stamp over on the block so I could get it closer to the fold in the page. And then we've got some foliage there. We feel good about that. I'm using the transfer sheet and the stamp to actually stamp this as opposed to putting it on a block because I needed it to curve. I'm on the back sheets of my Dilutions journal. So I needed it to curve with the book, and the best way for me to do it was just to leave it on the protector sheet and just stamp it like that. And look, guys, I got a really good image like that. It was a little risky, but who cares? And so now I'm using black again, and I'm going over the foliage that we just did in black so that it stands out. Boy, I like that stamp. I want to do it again and color it with like Copics, and I would like to do this page over again. Well, or another fairy page in general. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see. But I'm inking it up really well, and then I'm just stamping. And guys, I'm not going to throw out this fun foam. I'll probably use it to add some dimension to a card or something. That's usually what I use my fun foam for. I cut it out and then use it on the back of a layer for a card. And that way when you send it through the mail, as opposed to using those little foam squares. You have a better chance of it staying intact. So now I grabbed some watercolor twinkling H2Os. We all see this little package at Michael's, or we used to back in the day. And I never use them because, you know me. So I am taking the top off and I'm adding a little water to each of them. You got to kind of give them a minute to mix up and soak down in there. So I tested the colors on the back side of the page and I figured out which ones I wanted to use, because that fuchsia looking one, it actually comes up red, and that was not what we were going for. That would have just made a big mess. And I'm going over the little balls that are hanging from the vines or up there at the top. Now, the sprays that I use are water reactive, and I didn't seal the page. So I knew that I was going to get some mixing. I wasn't exactly sure what was going to happen, but it actually stood up really well on top of those oxide sprays. You can't really see what I'm doing right now, but I'm coloring in all the bluebells a little purple color. Now, these twinkling H2Os are semi-opaque, so you can still kind of see the black detail behind it. In a perfect world, I would be able to go back over them, each and every little flower, with a black pen or whatever to bring out some more of the details. You get what you get and you don't throw a fit. So now here is the whole reason why we are doing this. This is Krista, and she is a fairy from Sofia the First. For February, one of my friends over on Instagram is doing 29 days of Black Disney characters that you probably don't know about. The hidden Mickeys, the hidden gems. And I chose Krista. Now, you guys know that I am a Sofia the First fan. That is my favorite Disney show. And actually, Sofia the First had a ton of Black characters to pick from. But Krista is definitely one of my favorites. She's the protector of the Everrealm. And she's in the later episodes, which are my favorite Sofia the First episodes. And one of the things that she says is that there's more to being a fairy than just being gentle and delicate. And I like it because I'm such a fairy in many, many ways. And I am not often always so gentle and delicate. She's a beast. I like her. She's the protector of the Mystic Isle. She's the best protector. And she's teaching Sofia how to be the protector of the Everrealm. And hey, all I can say is I'm a big Disney fan, and I don't care what anybody has to say about it. Can you see Goofy on my nails right there? He's hiding. You can see Donald right there too. Little Daisy. Yeah, I'm a Disney fan. Sue me. And so this was so much fun. If you ever think, your kids want something to do, throw on a movie and tell them to draw their favorite scene and use a quote or something like that. You would be surprised what introducing arts and crafts into your kids' lives will do. Turn the TV off and have them try to remember a quote from one of their movies, or draw a scene, or play with some arts and crafts supplies. I had a great time doing this. So here I use my label maker because I didn't feel like stamping out all the little words, whatever. I just needed to get them in there. And I knew that I wanted the words gentle and delicate to be a lot larger. So I used my label maker to make the small ones. And I had clear tape in there, which is fine, not a big deal. So I just went ahead and put it right down in the lighter spots. And I kind of arranged the words how I wanted them to be. No rules to art journaling. Just play and have fun and feel good while you're doing it. I decided I didn't want them super shiny, so I'm going over them with matte medium, which is what I use to glue down Krista over there. And then I put a layer of matte medium over her. It seals it, it pushes her into the page, and it glues it down. So she's in there. You have to make sure that there's no water touching your matte medium, otherwise it'll bleed. But for the most part, I didn't have any bleeding when I sealed her down, which was great. And I'm just going over her again with the little matte medium. If I wanted to, I could have taken like a big brush pen and added even more shadowing and details. I do go around her and do a little bit of shading, but not much. She just kind of fits in there. This is my favorite art journaling letter set. So if I'm ever going to put words in a journal, I'm probably going to use one of the Dilution sets. It's Diane Reevely's own writing, and now I own her writing in every size that she makes. I think there are 4 different alphabet sizes, And I have them all because I love her lettering. It's so cool. And so here I'm stamping out the words gentle and delicate. For the and, I grabbed the Prima letters, which are kind of cool. And you just put them on this and you can spell out stuff and they're all like perfectly spaced out. It's a lot of space between the letters, but who cares? It's fun and it's easy. And I didn't have to write and, I just stamped it. Look. And there it is. Now for this, I used a little trick. I wrote down the word and I'm starting from the center of the word. And that way I can kind of center it on my page where I think I want it. And there's pretty decent spacing. I've got a better chance of getting decent spacing between all the letters if I do it this way. And kind of getting it placed where I want it to. So now I grabbed a bunch of peg stamps that come with the fairy set that I bought off of HSN or QVC. I think it was HSN. And then I'm just going to add some more background. So I'm not using black unless I want it to stand out. That one is black. I wanted her to be looking at the little butterfly. But I used both of the colors. The black stuff, obviously, again, I want to stand out. And the stuff that I stamped in that fuchsia color, I just wanted to kind of fade into the background, just adding to it. Look at the dragonfly. Isn't it pretty? So I grabbed some stars, a dragonfly, a butterfly, and I think it's like another twinkle or something like that. And I just grabbed the different colors and stamped them all around. And now I'm going over Krista's wings with the shimmer pen. You guys can't see it, but when I tell you it's a ton of shimmer on her wings, oh my goodness. Super duper shimmery. Then I grabbed a white gel pen and I just did a little bit of highlighting and playing. It's better when your page is completely dry so you don't mess up your gel pen. And now I'm just adding little dots like it's twinkling or there are fireflies everywhere. You can't really see it great here, but boy, is it pretty in person. Then I did something I never do, and that's use my stickles. How many of us have stickles? I know it's all about the Nuvo drops now, but really, stickles are OG glitter drops, and we all probably still have them. So I busted mine out, and I decided that the fairies needed to have glitter in their wings. Not shimmer, but actual glitter. And so I just covered up the wings or colored in the wings with the pretty glitter. Really glad I did that. It's so fairy-licious. Then I used a ink pad to just kind of darken the edges and frame the page a little bit. And no art journal page is complete until you put a date on that puppy. Now I have a ton of incomplete pages in here. I just play with backgrounds or colors, or when I feel like actually saying something or finishing a page, I just do it. I just go in there and play. And so here's what it looks like. A little bit of everything, pictures and Christmas and just stuff. And nothing is really finished, but I can always go back and play. If I have, like, look at that. I'm going to paste that down in there. The zoo. Who knows? Just a little bit of everything. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, guys. I hope to see you again soon. Bye.